Welcome, everybody, to the Maserati GranTurismo Folgore. This is the all-electric version of the GranTurismo, and what a car it is. It is so incredibly quick that I'm nervous to drive this around Trieste. So the main difference with this, which I want to get across, is how the battery is positioned. And I say that because on EVs, you usually have this kind of skateboard chassis, right? The battery runs alongside the bottom of the car and you get a nice low center of gravity and there's barely any body roll and it feels sterile. A lot of people think this is performance, but it takes away the soul of a car. This battery on this car, 800 kilowatt, is not like that. It's actually kind of in a backward T position. So because it's placed a little higher and a little less like a skateboard, you get a very organic movement in the car and how the chassis rolls. And that makes this feel, this all-electric Maserati GranTurismo, it gives it the emotion of what you find in a combustion engined car. Maserati is not about performance. It is not about numbers, although this helps.
After 200 meters,
Jeez.
turn right, then turn
God.
right.
It is so unbelievably fast. Like, I've just eaten and it is like
Turn right, then turn
sickeningly
right.
fast. It is sickeningly fast. Absolutely incredible. I'm blown away already. So what I'm saying, well, you have this EV that, yes, boasts some of the most impressive numbers I've ever seen on a spec sheet. It feels like a driver's car. And yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Around the roads of Trieste, however,
Turn right.
it's a little complicated. It's a little mind-numbingly scary. Bum, 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 bum. The roads around here are tight. The drivers around here, a bit scary. The car, also scary. God, it feels exactly like the standard GranTurismo. That's the scary
After
thing.
300 meters, turn left.
I mean, I was in GT mode. Oh, okay, I could put it in Corsa mode. The sound in the cabin is deeper. Obviously, it's coming through the speakers. The throttle is touchier. I can see on the dash how the aero, the ride height is changing, how the power is shifting, how the G-forces are shifting from left to right.
Turn left.
Or left, as the GPS is telling me. What an incredible thing, but oh so scary when it's not your own car. The interior is beautiful, by the way. Maserati obviously known for their gorgeous interiors, and it's got the complacency, the comfort. Bloody hell. And also I mean, we'll put it on bumpy road mode, we'll take it off Corsa maybe, just keep it in sport. Again, you've still got that bassy growl from the speakers, obviously all synthetic, but it gives it something. It's kind of skating across this bumpy road, but the way it absorbs these bumps is just incredible. Obviously a little heavier because of the battery, so it's a little crashier than the internal combustion engine version. My God, it's good. And this almost feeds into what Maserati wants to do from these GranTurismos as well. They need to be easy to drive. They need to be gentlemanly. They need to be comfortable and not be lurching. The only lurch you get, ladies and gentlemen, is the insane acceleration. Am I going left here? Yes, I am. I love driving around Italy. Constantly keeps you on your toes. I mean, it's a shame I can't really tell you much more about the performance of this car in this kind of scenario, although we may be heading out onto some nicer roads in a second. Driving around tiny city streets, it's really nice. You can't tell in a lower mode that you've got 700 odd horsepower underneath your right foot. It's very controllable. The steering is smooth. I mean, there's not a lot of feedback, I'll admit, but look, it's 2026. When do you get a car that has proper feedback? But you do get this lovely roll in the car laterally.
Turn right.
It's fantastic. This is, you know, I was talking with the other journalists on this trip, and we were talking about whether Maserati needs a halo car. This is the halo car. But the funny thing is that it doesn't look that different from really anything else Maserati has produced.
At the end of the road.
Obviously, it's got that beautiful
Turn left.
Maserati proportions. It needs, you know, it needs a special color, and it's got that on the interior, and customers can spec these cars however they want. You know, this is Maserati we're talking about. But it needs a special color or a pop. You get certain pops of light around the car in the air vents on the side of the front quarter, for example. And there's a certain class to that, which I do like. All right, let's... Wow, okay. Oh, the way it leans into a corner is beautiful. It's so un-EV-like. It feels so organic and so engaging. And that's the one thing that's missing, isn't it, from EVs? They're fast, they're quick, but they're not engaging. And God, this accelerates so quickly. This is just fantastic. It's like it's talking to you. And the brakes, that's another issue with EVs. The brakes can be so odd sometimes because it has to match with the regen braking, but no, these brakes are persuasive and linear. It's like someone pumped humanity into an electric car. In an age where EVs are becoming so commonplace, it's very difficult to really feel a difference between any of them. Yes, some of them are faster than the others, but they all feel the same, and I think that is because of the way the chassis is constructed. But this car, the way the weight and the mass has been placed makes it something really, really special. And who knew that just how a car shifts its weight left to right, laterally, who knew that would make such a difference? I have driven very quick electric cars that are faster than this. But I've never driven an electric car better than this. I think as an industry, we got very caught up in the smallest numbers, the biggest horsepower, the headline stats. This strips it all back and asks, what do we want from a car? Now we've seen the other side, what do we want? We want emotion, we want passion, we want feeling that something is moving and that weight is shifting. This gives you exactly that. The touch points, beautiful, obviously beautifully comfortable, as you'd expect from a Maserati. The steering wheel, square top and bottom, leather in this, not Alcantara. You're still looking over that incredible clamshell nose, a long GT nose. It looks, like I said, it looks exactly like the other cars, the internal combustion engine cars. What a fantastic thing. What a fantastic thing. Thank you so much, Maserati. They really pulled some strings to allow me to do this. Thank you so much. Such a special thing. The way the weight hangs onto that rear wheel, the rear outside wheel. I mean, I'm kind of stuck behind some traffic right now, but I'm trying to introduce some movement into the chassis. I do, however, need to turn up my AC because it is so hot in Italy right now. Bloody hell. I'd be interested to know how these brakes stack up. You can almost feel the brake pedal actually gripping into the rotors. How is a car this good? How is a car this good? It looks fantastic in here. There's 2 seats in the back, for goodness sake, and you can actually get your legs behind the seats.
Keep right.
I feel like an absolute boss right now. The issue is now is that I want one.
Turn
Grazie.
right, then turn left.